Good morning. Welcome to News for Hearing Impaired. Hi, I'm Anil Thomas. With me, Sonia this morning. First up, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to leave on a 3-day visit to Russian city of Vladivostok today. Will participate in India-Russia bilateral summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin and address the Eastern Economic Forum. More than 90% of Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh free from prohibitive restrictions, says government spokesperson. Landlines functional in almost all the areas of the valley. Pakistan grants consular access to jailed businessman Kulbhushan Jadhav under instructions from the International Court of Justice. MEA says Jadhav appears to be under extreme stress. 14th United Nations Convention to combat desertification gets underway in New Delhi. Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar says the conference aims to achieve a land degradation neutral world by 2030. In international news, while US agrees to withdraw 5,400 troops from Afghanistan in the next 20 weeks, Taliban continues to strike terror, kill 5 civilians in Kabul. The target of the attack was foreign nationals. And in sports, India beat West Indies in the second and final test in Kingston, Jamaica by 257 runs to win the series 2-0. Hanuman Vihara declared man of the match. And in shooting, India finished on top of the ISSF Shooting World Cup in Brazil. Win the mixed team event gold in rifle and pistol events to end the campaign with 9 medals, including 5 gold medals. And now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and leaders of a number of other countries will attend the 5th Eastern Economic Forum to be held in Vladivostok in Russia from September 4th to 6th. Prime Minister Modi will leave for Russia today evening. The forum provides a platform for discussing issues aimed at expanding international cooperation in Asia-Pacific region and developing the economy of Russia's Far East. Prime Minister Modi will also participate in the 20th India-Russia bilateral summit. Things are fast turning to be normal in the Kashmir Valley following the scrapping of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir on August 5th. Peace and calm prevails as restrictions have been eased in more than 90% of areas across the valley. Barricades have been removed from most locations. Security forces remain in place due to law and order maintenance requirements. Attendance in government offices remain normal. In schools, attendance continues to improve. Vehicular traffic too has become busier. In Jammu and Ladakh, landlines and mobile phones are functional, while in Valley, 76 telephone exchanges have been reconnected. Hospitals are functioning normally. Adequate stocks of all essential supplies are also available. India's Deputy High Commissioner in Islamabad, Gaurav Ahluwalia, on Monday met Kulbhushan Jadhav at a jail in Islamabad where he is lodged. This was the first meeting between an Indian diplomat and Jadhav, as Pakistan never allowed him consular access. After the meeting, New Delhi said that Jadhav appears to be under extreme pressure to parrot a false narrative to bolster Pakistan's untenable claims. Ministry of External Affairs said it will decide a further course of action after receiving a detailed report and determining the extent of conformity to the ICJ directives. The Ministry of External Affairs said that the government remains committed to continue to work towards ensuring that Jadhav receives justice at the earliest and returns safely to India. On the second day of his Japan visit, Raksha Mantri Raj Nath Singh will visit Japan Marine United ISCO works. Japan Parliamentary Vice Minister will accompany Raj Nath Singh. JMU is a leading company in the shipbuilding industry with bases throughout Japan. During the visit, Raksha Mantri will be informed about the innovations and future plans with regard to shipbuilding sector at Yoga Works. Raj Nath Singh will also visit the Japan Air Force's biggest training command in Hamamatsu today. He will be briefed about the ongoing training programs, besides witnessing a show of strength of E-767 AWAC F-15 fighter jet and T-4 training planes. The 14th Conference of Parties COP14 to the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification is underway in Greater Noida. As India assumed COP presidency for the next 2 years, Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar expressed optimism towards restoring land ecology and environment. Talking about the importance of such large-scale conferences, the minister said, UNCCD is very important and Delhi Declaration will form the future course of action. Union Minister also mentioned that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the high-level segment meeting on 9th of September 2019. International stories. United States will withdraw 5,400 troops from Afghanistan within the next 20 weeks as part of a deal in principle with Taliban militants. The deal came as a massive explosion rocked central Kabul late Monday, killing at least 5 people and injuring several others. Taliban claimed the blast took place in a residential area near Green Village, a large compound that houses aid agencies and international organizations. The militants now control more territory than at any time since the 2001 US invasion and have so far refused to talk to the Afghan government, whom they deride as American puppets. In exchange for the US troop withdrawal, the Taliban would ensure that Afghanistan would never again be used as a base for militant groups seeking to attack the US and its allies. In a major boost to the Indian Air Force's combat capabilities, 8 US-made Apache AH-64E attack helicopters are set to be inducted into the Indian Air Force today. Air Chief Marshal B.S. Dhanoa will be the chief guest during the induction ceremony, which will take place at the Pathankot Air Force Station. The AH-64E Apache is one of the world's most advanced multi-role combat helicopters and is flown by the US Army. At least 5 people have been killed in the Bahamas as Hurricane Durian continues to batter the country. Surging floodwaters, upturned cars and snapped trees can be witnessed in the affected areas. Local media report that the international airport is underwater. According to forecasters, Durian is the most powerful storm to hit the Bahamas since records began and will later move dangerously close to the US East Coast. The US National Hurricane Center said that only a slight deviation in the path of the storm could bring Durian directly over Florida's east coast, which is already expected to face life-threatening storm surges and dangerous winds over the next couple of days. The US states of Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina have all declared states of emergency. Meanwhile, even as wildfires in Amazon continue unabated, suspected loggers continue to destroy the world's largest rainforest. Recently, police officers on duty in the region were involved in a firefight with suspected loggers. Dramatic video of the tense standoff was captured. No one was injured in the shootout. No arrests were made. Police destroyed equipment thought to belong to loggers. According to reports, illegal logging, farming and mining have despoiled nearly 12,000 square kilometers in the Amazon this year alone. Critics say country's President Jair Bolsonaro's call for the Amazon to be opened up for more farming and logging have fueled deliberate fires. An escalation between Israel and Hezbollah has ended after a brief exchange of fire, but tensions remained high along the Lebanese border on Monday after the enemies traded acquisitions. Residents returned to life as normal on both sides of the border, though burnt fields could be seen and the Israeli military had established new checkpoints. Schools were open in the Israeli village of Abimim, from which the Lebanese town of Maroum al-Ras is clearly visible on a nearly hill. In southern Lebanon, farmers returned to their fields and the United Nations force tasked with monitoring the border area resumed its patrol. Sunday's incident, which caused no casualties following a week of rising tensions that included what the Iranian-backed Lebanese Shiite movement described as an Israeli drone strike on its Beirut stronghold on August 25th. On sports, India produced a top-notch bowling performance in a clinical 257-run demolition of the West Indies in the second test as a 2-0 series victory put them on top of the ICC World Test Championship points table. The victory was 28th in the tests for Virat Kohli, making him the most successful Indian captain in the traditional format of the sport. Chasing a near impossible target of 468, West Indies batting once again failed to show stomach for a good fight as they caved in for 210 in 59.5 overs, well inside the fourth day. The 10-meter air pistol final was an all-India affair with Abhishek Verma and Yashaswini Singh Deswal competing against Manu Bhakar and Saurabh Chaudhary. As expected, it turned out to be the most exciting match of the day, with Saurabh and Bhakar staging an epic comeback to clinch yet another mixed team gold. World number 1 in women's 10-meter air rifle shooting, Apurvi Chandela partnered Deepak Kumar to win India's 4th gold medal on the concluding day of the ISSF World Cup in Rio de Janeiro. The pair of Anjum Mudgal and Divyansh Panwar won the bronze medal. India have a total haul of 5 gold, 2 silver, 2 bronze for 9 medals from the ISSF World Cup in Rio. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.